Okay, doctor.
Okay,
Okay,
doctor.
all right. Thank you.
So I correct there.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, how are you today? Everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Okay, good. So, we are now in chapter 5, eh? Chapter 5. Can you see the slide?
Yes, doctor. We can see the slide.
Okay, right. Thank you. So, we are now in week 7. The next week 8, Mr. Break. Okay. And then we're supposed to have tests this week, but I think we postpone our test after break lah. Boleh ke? Okay, we postpone our test not this week, but most probably in week 10 maybe. Okay. And then the scope for the test I will inform you later lah. What the scope for the test? For the test, we only have one test, and then I will tell you later. I will let you know the scope for that particular test lah. Okay, so now we are in chapter 5. Chapter 5 is because in project, when you handle any project, so basically there are two important factors. There are two important, what you call it, not factor actually, two important parameters. The first one is time, second one is cost. So, okay, every time we're going to manage something, let's say we're going to manage to handle, let's say you're going to have a graduation night at the end of the semester. There are two parameters that always always maybe you discuss all the time with your group members and so on, with your project partner and so on. There are time and cost. So, and then when we manage the project, when we plan our project, that project is under planning, okay, under planning. So when we plan something, we need to make sure what we have planned, something that can be managed, is something manageable. Okay, so in order to do that, because we still in the planning phase, we not implement yet, so we need to estimate some of the data, estimate or forecast some of the data. So the most important data in project management is time and cost. So you must be, if you are a project manager, if you are a leader, you must be good in forecasting. You must be good in estimating, especially on time and cost. Okay. For each activity, how long? Activity A, how long? Activity B, how long? How many days? Activity C, how many days? And then how about the cost? How much to carry out activity A? How much to carry out activity B, and so on? So there is two important parameter in project management. Okay, time and cost. So because these are two important parameter, so you need to have a very good knowledge on estimating to make sure what you forecast, what you estimate is something practical. Something this the we not just for the sake of forecasting. We not just not just for the sake of estimating. We have to make sure what we are forecast is exactly what we need actually, exactly in the reality. Okay, so this is this topic now. I will explain to you the technique for estimating or forecasting. In order to help you to become a good project manager. Okay, so we are now in chapters 5. Okay, and then we already finished chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and 11. So now almost half our syllabus. I already explained to you, so we have another half. Just for a minute, eh? Tapi kan saya. Okay. So what is estimated? Estimate, forecasting. Forecasting is a prediction, you know. We predict, we forecast for the future. But in order to make a good result for forecasting, so we need to have a knowledge. We need to have a experience. And then we also need to have to know the method. Okay, what the technique that we're going to use to get the right, to get the good result of forecasting. So what the purpose of estimating? We need to estimate in order us to plan. Okay, okay. Let's say we're talking about your CPA, let's say. Okay, for this semester you don't have any target. Don't have any target for your CPA. It doesn't matter. You get 2.0 is okay, 2.5 is okay, 3 point is okay. So if like that, you don't have any forecast. So I think didn't help you to you no need to plan anything because you didn't have any target. But if you have target, or this semester you target your CPA must be 3.0. So when you target 3.0, that means you need to plan something in order to achieve 3.0. Okay, not just only or target only. Okay, I plan this semester to get 3.0, but you do nothing. I think this cannot help you to get 3.0. Now, so this is the important of estimating. Okay? When we have a value, a forecast value, so we need to plan in order to achieve that. Okay, so this is estimating or forecasting. So there are two types of estimates, either top down. Top down, that means your boss give you direction, give you instruction. Let's say your boss give you, okay, we have uh, 1 million, so you need to manage this 1 million. So that means your life become easy. Because what? Because you already have a value. You don't need to forecast. Okay? But another type of forecast is bottom up. Bottom up, that means you get some idea from your subordinate, your staff. Okay, maybe you conduct a brainstorming session to get your idea from your staff. Based on that, you try to focus for the future. So this is quite tough, yeah. Because normally, when you get the idea from your staff, because your staff normally didn't have any experience on forecasting and so on. So that means all the data that you get from your staff, okay, okay, all the data that you get from your staff, you need to come up the model in order to you to estimate. Estimate is forecasting, forecast for the future. But if you is top down, that means you get the direction, you get the instruction from your boss, and then more easier compared to bottom up. Bottom up, that means you get all the info from your staff. Okay. Okay, and then this the why estimate time and cost are important. Why important? Because we need to have something in order to us to make a good decision. Let's say if your boss asks you, okay, how much the cost to complete this project. Let's say now you handle project house renovation. Maybe your boss will ask you, "Oh, how much to complete this house renovation?" So if you don't have any forecast data, you can answer the question, you know. If you have forecast data, so you can give some value to your boss, or approximately about 100K, 100,000. Why you say 100,000? Based on your data forecast data. Okay, so I will explain later. Maybe support your good decision. And then, in order you to schedule work, if you don't have any forecast data, so you cannot schedule your work because you didn't know how long. Let's say in order to complete the house renovation project, you have several tasks. Let's say we call it task A, task B, task C, task D. So if you didn't know how long for task A, how are you going to proceed with task B? If you didn't know how long for task B, so you cannot proceed with task C. But if you can forecast how long for task A, let's say task A, 2 days, you can plan. After 2 days, you can start with task B. Task B take about 10 days. Let me another next another 10 days, you need to proceed with task C. So this is what you schedule your work. And then estimate are needed to determine how long the project schedule take and it costs. So based on your estimation, you know how long to complete this house renovation. How long to complete, let's say you do something about to paint your house. How long it takes time. And then how much the cost. This is very important cost because if you don't have any forecast data for the cost, that means you cannot prepare the budget. Now, if you have a data forecast for the cost, so you can prepare the budget, ask your company to provide you that amount in order to complete this project. Okay. Then estimation also needed in order to you to determine whether the project is worth doing. Some of the project is not worth doing. It gives you a lot, you know. So you, based on forecast, you can determine is it this project worth it or not. If not worth it, give you a lot. You don't need to proceed the project. And then estimate are needed to develop cash flow need. Cash flow, that means the transaction. In 1 month, how many transactions? That means how much that you need to spend your money in 1 month. So if you have a target, so you can plan that one. Okay. Estimate are needed to determine how well the project is progressed. Based on your forecast data, you can monitor the progress of the project because you already know. Okay, you start project today. Tomorrow, what the status of the project? Another day, what the status of the project? It's based on your forecast. So based on your forecast, you can refer your actual, and then you can determine the progress of the project. And then project estimate also can help you to develop to determine several parameters, the time, budget, baseline, and so on. I will explain later. Okay, continue. Is it the same? Is it the same? Oh, it's the same. Okay. Okay. Factor influencing the quality or estimate. So what the factor that give you the good result of estimation, the good result of forecast? The first one is planning horizon. Planning horizon, that's mean you plan, you refer to the current condition of the country, current condition of the company. That's mean, let's say now, we are now in a pandemic COVID-19. So if you focus now for the next 3 years, I think it's not give you a good result because the situation now may be totally different with the next 3 years. Because now is we are in having pandemic COVID-19. Maybe the next 3 years, everything is clear. So all the business can be become normal. Now we cannot assume business become normal because we have several problems now. So there is planning horizon. Then project duration. It is not advisable you project far ahead, because anything can happen between them. The most accurate forecasting is you just forecast maybe next day, maybe next week, maybe next month, then not more than that. Because if you forecast for the next 3 months, we didn't know what happened. Like now, we are now in having a pandemic COVID-19.
Betul je ke sih?
We forecast for the middle next year. We didn't know maybe COVID-19 will be over at that time. Or maybe COVID-19 maybe become serious at that time. So this is project duration. We have to make sure your duration, uh, your project duration effect to your quality of your estimate. People that mean we need the people have a knowledge, have a experience. And that's why this is the task of project manager. Because what? Because project manager is somebody that knowledgeable, experience. Okay. So in order to have a good forecast result, beside your education, your level of education, you need also have an experience. Must be knowledgeable. Okay. And then project structure and organization. So that's mean because when we're going to forecast, we need the data from several departments. Maybe we need data from marketing department. We need data from production department in order to us to compile the data to forecast for the next few years. So there is coordination, all the department in the company. This project structure organization. And then I and then I think the rest is it's not so give you a very big impact, but it's also can affect to your uh forecast data. That is culture. Culture and also attitude. So even though let's say you can finish that job in 3 years, no, in 3 days, but because of your attitude, because of your culture, the project will be delayed. Maybe take 10 days. So you just imagine you forecast for the 3 days, but actual 10 days. 7 days waste, because you need to wait, you need to complete a project. So you need to complete the activity. So the next activity need to be wait for 7 days to start. So this is culture and attitude. So this is the factor that influencing the quality of estimate. Okay, estimating guideline for time, cost, and resources. Okay, so before we we before we forecast something, before we estimate something, the people that going to propose the forecast data must be that people must be familiar with the situation. So that's why this is responsibility. There is one of the uh, responsibility of project manager. Because project manager, when company appointed you as a project manager, that means you are a knowledgeable people. You are experienced people. So you're familiar with all the situation. And then it's good if you can use several people to make estimate. Because what? Because different people have different view. So if you ask 3 people to make estimate for the same situation, maybe based on that 3, you can combine the result and then we can discuss the result. It's better compared to you make estimation by your own because it's based on your perception. Maybe another people have another perception. So it's good you make as a group and then you combine the result and then try to come up which one is the best. Okay. And then before we estimate, we need to have the historical data. We need to have a previous data. why today we forecast today this afternoon must be raining? Because what? Because yesterday afternoon also raining. That means we have a historical data. We forecast today raining because what? Because yesterday also rain. So yesterday and today is very close. If today raining, must worry tomorrow also raining. But this is our forecast. Correct or not is depend on the actual lah. But we forecast something based on the historical data. We not only suddenly forecast, no. So this is, and then when you forecast a time, make sure you forecast in the same unit. Let's say use day. You forecast all the activity in days. You cannot forecast this activity in day, this activity in minute, this activity in hour. So when you forecast something, you have several activities. Make sure each activity you use the same unit. If you use day as a unit, each activity using day. Forecast in days. How many days to complete this project? How many days to complete this activity? Okay. And then so please that's mean please to make sure everybody involved in forecasting they are free from uh something like because why they say that because your boss here, so in order to make your boss happy, so you forecast something value that is unlogic. If something is hard to get, but because your boss here, so to make sure your boss happy, so you promise something, but basically that you promise you cannot do actually. So this is the meaning with the number 5 here. And then when you forecast something, you need to consider the normal situation. That means you are working in a normal condition. The weather condition is normal. That means if you want to complete this task in 3 days, so make sure you do it at the right time lah. Now it's not suitable because what? Because it's the rainy season. Maybe some of the day we cannot work. So that is something is not good lah. Okay. And then when you forecast something, you need to consider risk. What happen if we can achieve? So what we need to do in order to get back to our planning. So this is the guideline. And then this is to compare between macro and micro. So macro is a top down, micro is a bottom up. Top down, that means you have some budget from your boss. Based on that budget, you manage how to use, how to allocate, and so on. Bottom up, that means you get some idea from your staff. And then based on your staff, you try to formulate the model before you estimate. So which one is the best depend on condition. But which one is easy is a top down. That means we no need to forecast because we need to forecast for the activity only. And then our target will have the budget from our boss. So this is a top down. Okay, the same thing. No. Okay, same thing. And then what the approach that we can use in estimation? Either make rough top-down estimate. That's mean top-down. That's mean based on top management. Because we discuss in top management how long to finish this task, and then based on that we can make a decision. Develop the WS and OBS. I'll explain to you what WBS, what breakdown structure, and then organization is the activity, and then what is OBS, organization breakdown structure. This is a percentage. Okay. Then you can make also bottom-up estimate. Bottom-up estimate, that means you get some idea from your staff. Maybe your staff have a knowledge on estimation. So idea to you in order to you to estimate for the whole system. Okay. Develop schedule and budget. Okay. Develop schedule and budget. So that's mean we need to have a schedule. We need to have a budget. Schedule referring to time, budget referring to cost. It's very important. And then please differentiate between top-down approach and bottom-up approach, because this is a different situation, you know. Okay. Okay, I already explained to you what the top-down. Top-down, that's me from your boss. You already get the info from your boss or instruction from your boss, just using your knowledge to make sure you can run the project. Okay. Top down is something like this. Something like you already know the total project cost, 500,000. So how to allocate 500,000 into several activities? That means you get the direction from top, and then you just distribute that budget based on demand, based on allocation for each activity. Okay. So and then this is the, I think this is not important here. I don't want to explain to you, because this is just how to how to make a decision, how to judge any activity is important, not important, or average. That's all. Yeah, I think it's not, it's no need to understand here. And then bottom up. Bottom up, that's mean we get all the info from ground floor. I mean, from your staff. And then, of course, maybe your staff is not as good as you. Okay, so you need to compile all the result and make it analysis, and maybe based on that we can model it to get the condition of that company. Okay, I skip this. I also skip this. And then, how about the level of detail of the estimate? Okay, so we need to, it's no need to estimate in the detail, but the most important thing, we can estimate the main parameters. We can estimate time and cost for each activity. Okay, that's mean we estimate as one package, you know. At the beginning, we estimate for the whole project, how long. The determination for the how long of the project depend on how long for each activity. So we need to go into, not into detail, but we need to make sure before we determine the project duration. So we need to estimate the duration for each activity first. Okay. Then this is the estimate budget. Okay. Time and budget is very important. You need to estimate how much, how long, and so on. Okay. This one important. And then I will teach this graph in next chapter. Okay. Type of cost. When we're talking about to estimate the cost, so we need to know the type of cost. We have we call it direct cost. Then we also have indirect cost. There is overhead cost. So indirect cost only labor and material, and then we have 100 overhead cost. So just to explain to you about the direct cost and indirect cost. Okay. And then when we forecast, we need to monitor to make sure is it what we forecast same with what the actual. Let's say we forecast to complete this activity 2 days. Is it in actual we can complete in 2 days? So you need to monitor. If not, you need to refining. Maybe something wrong in your forecast. You forecast today, but to complete this activity takes about 3 days. To delay 1 day. So you need to do something. So they can refine in estimate. Adjust estimate. Need to adjust estimate. Okay, I think this is not important. Okay, so finish chapter 5 about the estimation, forecast for time and money. Do you have any question? Before we go to chapter 6. Any question?
No, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, developing a project plan. So this is when we already identify the activity at WBS, we breakdown structure. When we already identify the person in charge, that is OBS, organization breakdown structure. And then we already have a data for the time and cost. So after that, we can plan our project. So this is developing a project plan. So we're now in chapter 6 here. And then today, if I think we go another chapter 7, and we finish our class today. Chapter 6. So in order to develop a project plan, we call it project network. Okay, project network. What the purpose of project network? Project network is before we schedule a project, we need to know the sequences, all the activities in order to complete the project. So that means the first activity A, after finish A, we go to B. After finish B, we go to C. In series or maybe in parallel. We can do activity A, activity B parallel at the same time. So this we need to know this condition, before we proceed with our project plan. Okay. If you still remember the example from chapter 4 last week, we're talking about the work package and what problem structure. We're talking about the work package. And then you still remember we use the example to install a personal computer. And then we have a work breakdown structure. Organization is activity. Also we have organization breakdown structure. Organization breakdown structure is a person in charge. Okay. So this is example of network. This is something that you need to develop for your project. That means A, B, C, D, E, D, F, and K is activities or WBS. So here we have activity A, and then when activity A is represent activity. So what the activity A? Specification and documentation. When you finish specification and documentation, you can proceed with activity B and activity C. That means activity B and C can be proceed once you finish activity A. So arrow show here, when you finish A, you can proceed with B and C. That means B and C can do it parallel. And then after B and C, you need to proceed D. When you finish B and C, so you can proceed with D. So you see two arrow here. That means before you proceed D, B and C must be finished first. If only finish B but C didn't finish yet, so D still cannot start. You can only start D when B and C finish. After D is a F. So you can proceed with F when you finish D. And then K. So you can proceed with K when you finish F. Okay? So this we call it network. Okay? Network is a we'll put symbol like A, B, C, D, F, K. Okay. So please understand this one because if you understand it's hard to you to analyze. Okay. In a project network, we have two types. Okay. The first type is activity on arrow. That means arrow represent activity. You see here A to D. Arrow here represent activity. And then another one, activity on node. Another one, activity on node. That means all node here is activity. So A, node, activity. B, also activity. C, activity. So I only teach you the second technique only. That is activity on node. Okay. Activity on arrow is not included in our syllabus. So please forget the activity on arrow. So you only focus for activity on node. Activity on node, that means in the box here, we call node. So activity happening here. Arrow just to show to you after CD, after BD, after AD. That means when B finish, you can start D. But D cannot be start if one of these not finished, So in order to start D, all of this activity A, B, and C must be finished first. And this is doesn't mean this arrow. If B not finished, D even though A and C finish, so D still cannot start because D also need B. Make sure A, B, C finish first before we proceed with D. So it doesn't by this figure. So terminology, activity in the box here. Activity A, B, C. What the A? We describe later. A is a specification and documentation. B is prototype 1. C implementary software. D final prototype. F final software. K testing. So this is the symbol. That means this is all activity. In the bracket here, in the box here is activity. Merge activity. That means we merge activity here. Something like this. In order to start D, so you need to complete A, B, and C. So A, B, and C is a activity, individual activity, but at the end of the day, you merge your direction, So in order, before you can start D, A, B, and C must be finished first. Okay. And then we also have a parallel, concurrent. Something like this. A, B, and C, we do it concurrent, parallel. Okay. Like this. A, okay, and then B and C here, you can do it parallel at the same time. Because what? Because before you start D, you make sure B and C finish first. So they is represented by this symbol, parallel. And then D, F, and K is a series. That means you only have one activity, and then F is a net activity, K is a net activity. So that's series. This is a parallel. A parallel is a series. Okay, constructing a project network. Path. Path is a sequence. This is a path. From A to B, B to D, this path. From C to D, this path. Arrow represent the direction for the path. Critical path, because we have several activity, so in order to us to manage our project properly, so we need to know which one is critical. Critical, that means the time for the project cannot be reduced. It cannot be reduced. So critical part, that means by hook, because we cannot reduce the time, by hook, we need to finish that particular activity along the critical path. We need to follow the schedule. If let's say activity A, based on our schedule, must be finished in 2 days. By hook, we need to make sure A finish in 2 days. And then B, let's say the B also in the path, critical path. So B also, by hook, we need to finish on time. This is called critical. But if the activity is not critical, we can delay the activity. Maybe instead of 3 days, we take it 5 days because it's not critical. So I will show you example later. Okay, construction project network, and then we have event. Let's say here, we see here, A. After A, we need to process with B, C, and D. So that's mean before we process C, we need to finish A first. So at the end of the A, this event shows that A finished. At the before C, this event we call it we start C. This event. So burst activity I will explain later. And then this is the approach that I mentioned to you just now. Either we use activity on node or activity on arrow. But please remember, for your case in this subject, I only teach you activity on node. I not teach you activity on arrow. So you need to make sure, you need to understand that what you're doing now is activity on arrow. Activity on arrow, that means activity on node. Our syllabus activity on node. Activity on node, that means all the activity in the box here, in the box, like A, there's activity A, B, activity B. This is activity on node. Activity on arrow, that means arrow represent activity. So in your syllabus, I only teach you activity on node. Okay. Basic rule to follow in developing project network. Yeah. Network typically from left to right, like here. Network from left to right, like here. From left to right. It's compulsory, yeah. When you draw a network, you need to draw from left to right. Okay. An activity cannot begin until all the its activity are complete. Let's say like this. Okay, just for a minute, Yeah. Oh, tadi okay dah apa ni? apa ni, si siapa datang tadi dia bawa apa ni jumper kabel, jam start dah boleh start. Lepas tu saya pergi tukar bateri lah. Sebab dia daripada Pasir Gudang, saya rasa dalam 40 minit cukup. 40 minit daripada selepas I call you tu. Kita tu lebih kurang tu lah. Saya pun lupa tu. Dah okey lah. Bila dia hidup tadi saya pergi workshop tukar bateri lah. Memang cover bateri lah sebab tak sampai dia punya semua tidak berfungsi. Bateri tu bulan 3 tahun 2020. Dah setahun setengah tu lah. Okey, semua okey lah. Okay, sama. Okay, so network typically from left to right. Left to right, that means here. That means from left to right. From left to right. Arrow from left to right. And then an activity cannot begin until all its activity are complete. That means sequence like this. That means B cannot start. I will mention. B cannot begin until A complete. A finish. When A finish, you can start B. When A finish, you can start C. When A finish, you can start D. That means D cannot be start if A still not complete. Because the procedure, the sequence says that B, C, and D only can start when A finish. This is represented by this arrow. This one, D cannot start. Okay. B only can start when A finish. And then D can be start when C and B finish. That means if C finish, B didn't finish, D cannot start. Okay. So if B finish but C didn't finish, also D cannot start. D only can start both C and B finish. This is represented by this arrow. Okay. Okay. Arrow indicate precedent. Arrow here indicate precedent, sequence, flow. Okay. Precedent and flow. Okay. Identify each activity with a unit numbers. That means we label activity with the unit numbers like A, B, C, D, E, and so on. Okay. Low pin is not alloy. That means low pin, that means return back. No, cannot alloy because our network must be from left to right. From left to right. Okay. So that means from left here to right. So it cannot return back. Conditional statement are not allowed. That means when we draw our network, we need to confirm our activities and then we need to forecast time and cost. So please make sure you have all the data. Use common start and stop node. That means if you want to put start and stop, also can. But like this, you put before A, you put start. After K, you put before A, you put another node, you write start. After K, you put another node, you write finish. Also can. But if you don't want to put start and finish, also acceptable. Okay. So activity on node fundamental. That means A, B, and C. This is show that A is preceded by nothing. That means A is a starting point. B is preceded by A. That means before you proceed B, you need to finish A first. C is preceded by B. That means before you start C, you need to finish B. Before you start B, you need to finish A. This is the sequence. Okay. B, X, and then parallel. Y and Z are preceded by X. That means Y and Z, before Y and Z is X. You cannot start Y and Z if X still not finished. Y and Z can begin the same time if you wish. That means Y and Z can start the same time if X complete. So this. Okay. This one. JKLM. JKL. Okay, JKL begin at the same time. But M cannot start if one of JKL didn't finish. That means M only can start all these three finish. That means activity J, K, L finish, and then you can start activity M. If only K and L finish, but J still didn't finish, so M cannot start. Because N can be start only if J, K, and L finish. J, K, L represent activity. What are you doing? We label it as J, like this. Because we cannot write here like this. If you write, it's too long, we'll just label A, B, C. Actually, A is a specification and documentation. B is a prototype. C is a primary software. But if we want to write, we need a very big box. So in order to do that, we just put a symbol A, B, C, D, E. But A, B, C, D is a represent activity. Okay. Same with this. Same with this. Add Z is preceded by X and Y. That means before you start Z, you need to make sure X and Y finish. Okay. AA preceded by X and Y. Before you start A, make sure activity X and Y finish because all the arrow from X and from Y go to AA. So that means AA preceded by X and Y. The sequence, Okay, so this is the data. If I ask you in the test of an exam, I will give the data like this. That I give the activity symbol A B C D E F G H, and then what done by A? A is an application approval. B is a construction plan, but we cannot use this because it make your board is too big. We just put A, B, C. But you need to understand A represent for application approval, B represent for construction phase, C represent for traffic study, and so on. So this is the precedent activity. So let's say here A, and then the precedent A is none. That means A is a starting point because before A, nothing. B, precedent is A. That means B only can start when A finish. C also A. C can start when A finish. D also A. That means D only can start when C finish. So if we see the diagram like this, we have A, none. That means A is a starting point. B after A, C also after A, D also after A. So the diagram like this. D until D. We look at E. E after B and C. So that means E after B and C. When B and C finish, so you can start E. Arrow represent precedent. So that means before E, B and C. Before E, B and C. F. Before F, B, C, and D. So that means before F, you need B, you need C, and you need D. So that means before you start F, make sure B, C, and D finish. Activity B, activity C, activity D finish. F, G. G after G before F. So that means G Oh no, G after S. That means before you start G, F must be finished. And then H. H after E and G. H after E and G. That means arrow from E, arrow from G to make it H. Yeah. So I give you 5 minutes to understand this. And then when you understand this, please proceed with this diagram. If you can draw this diagram without referring to this, that means you understand about the network. So please do this example. Make sure you will get network like this. Okay, this is only network for this problem. If you have different from this, that means you get the wrong answer. Okay, so I give you 5 minutes. You need to rest first, or you need to do this example first. Class? Class, you still with me?
Rest, Doctor.
Okay, rest 5 minutes. After rest, we do it you do it again this example, to make sure
Alright,
you
Doctor.
understand. Okay, right. So rest for 5 minutes. Okay. Can we start?
Yes, Doctor.
Please have a look this example. Okay, and understand it, and then try to draw network without referring to the I think you do it by yourself first. And then if you start, please refer to the solution. Please do it now. To make sure you understand to draw a network. Okay, any problem? Class? You're doing okay, all right? Proceed. If you have any problem, please ask me. Finish? Class finish.
Finish, doctor.
So, okay, is there any problem to draw the network? No problem. Okay, right, good. Okay, so we proceed. Okay, this is the network based on this problem. This is our problem. Not problem. This is our if I ask you, I will give something like this. The question is something like this. The data, and then based on this, you need to draw network. This is the network, and then you start doing analysis. Okay, the first thing we did a forward analysis. Forward analysis, that's mean from left to right, from A to H. This is forward analysis. Okay, backward analysis is from right to left, reverse. Backward analysis from H to A, reverse. So what does it mean by forward analysis? Forward analysis is to get the earliest time. Okay, we calculate early start. Okay. If early start, when is early finish? That means the earliest we can start, the earliest we can finish. Okay, and then we also can calculate the expected time to finish the project. And then for the backward analysis, backward pass, that means reverse from right to left. For the backward analysis, to calculate a late start, when the latest we can start. If we can start late, so that means our finish also late. So if late start, when is a late finish? The forward is a early start, early finish. Backward, late start, late finish. Okay. And then we also can calculate the critical path. Critical path represent how long this project can be delayed. How long particular activity can be delayed. That is we calculate a slack time. Okay. So okay, and then before that, I just give this data without time. So now I give you data in time. That's mean activity A take 5 days, activity B take 15 days, activity C take 10 days, 5 days, and activity H take 35 days. So okay, for the activity on node, this is the format of the network. Each node we divided into 8 sections. Please focus for the legend here. Okay, 8 sections. Okay, on the top row, on left, ES. ES, that means early start. The earliest you can start this activity. ID is a identification symbol. That means we use A, B, C, D, and so on. When early start, so that means we have early finish. Okay. Okay. See at the bottom row, we have LS. LS stand for late start. This one early start. So this one late start. And then DUI is a duration. Duration is here. Time here. Activity. We put time. Duration. And then when we have late start, so that's mean we have late finish. And then this is description. Description is a this. Application approval, construction plan, traffic study, and so on. Okay. SL is slack time. We can calculate slack time later. This one, SL, slack time. I showed you how to calculate slack time. So now we draw this and then we put ID. ID is a symbol here. Activity A, B, C, D, until H. We put description. Description is here. Application approval for A. Construction plan for B. Traffic study for C. We put A, B, C, D, and so on. And then we put duration. 5, 15, 10, and so on. So we put duration. 5, 15, 10, and so on. Okay, this is data. You understand how to key in data into network? Did not analyze yet. We just key in data into network. Any question? Okay, right, good. Okay, so we start forward analysis, this one. Forward analysis. So because A is a first activity, so we must start with 0 because the first activity. And then A takes about 5 days. So if we start 0, that means we finish at day 5. That's why we get 5 here. Yeah? We start at 0 because starting point must be 0. A is a first activity, so early start must be 0. So 0 here, 5 days, so early finish at day 5. So day 5, transfer to B, transfer to C, transfer to D, because B, C, D after A. So that means we finish at day 5. Soon after that, you can start B. After that, you can start C. After that, you can start D when you finish A. That's why early start for B 5, early start for C also 5, early start for D also 5. You get it?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, right. And then B 15 days. So that means you start at day 5, 15 days. So finish at day 20. 5 plus 15, 20. 5 plus 10, 15. 5 plus 5, 10. So that means early start day 5, early finish day 10. Early start day 5, early finish day 15. Early start day 5, early finish day 20. Okay, and then you see arrow. From B, go to E. And also go to F. From B, from C, go to E, go to F. And then from D, go to F. That means before you start E, you have 2 options here. From B and from C. Before you start F, you have 3 options here. From B, from C, from D. So in this case, for early start, this one don't have any option, only 5. But this one you have 2 value, either 20 or 15. So for the early start, please remember, we take it the longest one. 20 and 15, the longest 20. So that's why we put here 20. Okay, and then here we have 20, 15, 10. So if you have a choice for the forward analysis, please choose the longest one. So the longest one is 20. That's why we put 20 here. And then, okay, for the E, 20, 15, 20 plus 15, 35. For F, 20 plus 10, 30. And then F only going to G. G and H from E and from G. From E, 35. From G, 200. So for the forward analysis, we choose the longest one. That's means 200. 200 plus 35, 235. Okay. Understand for the forward analysis?
Clear, doctor.
Yeah. Okay. So please remember, 235 is the duration of the project. That means this project will be complete in 235 days. And then 235 days transfer to late finish. You just bring this one down here. Late finish. From early finish to late finish. And then after that, we do it backward analysis. The analysis that means for the from right to left. So for the forward we plus, for the backward we minus. So 35 minus 35 at 235 minus 35. So we get it 200. 200 here goes to E and goes to G. And then because only one, so we only put 200, we only put 200 here. And then 200 minus 15, 185. 200 minus 170, 30. Okay, look at G. G goes to F. And then the only one choice. So we put 30 here to here, 30. Because they don't have any choice. And then 30 minus 10, 20. Okay, look at B. B from F and from E. From F, 20. From E, 185. So for the backward analysis, opposite from forward analysis. If forward analysis, if we have a choice, we choose the longest one. But for the backward analysis, if you have a choice, choose the shortest one. That's why we choose 20. Opposite from 20. And then C. C from E, 185. From F, 20. So you have two choices. So you choose the smallest one, 20. And then for D, only from F. From F, 20. That's why 20 here. So 20 minus 15, 5. 20 minus 10, 10. 20 minus 5, 15. So here we have 5, 10, 15. So for the backward analysis, choose the smallest one. So that's why we put 5 minus 5, 10. So understand for the backward analysis? Alright. And then the result is something like this. Something like this. The result. Okay. This is the result. That means forward analysis and backward analysis. So another value we need to calculate is a slack time here. Slack time here. Slack time, please remember this formula. Slack time here, we already calculate early start, early finish, late start, late finish. And then in the identification, description, and duration, we put from the data. The last calculation is LL. SL is slack time. Slack time, the formula of slack time is late start minus early start. Late start minus early start, you will get slack time here. So 0 minus 0, 0. 5 minus 5, 0. 10 minus 5, 5. 15 minus 5, 10. 20 minus 20, 0. 30 minus 30, 0. 185 minus 20, 165. 200 minus 200, 0. So please remember to calculate SL, slack time equal to late start minus early start. Just take the value down here minus the value up here. And then to get the value at the middle. Understand? Huh? Okay, all right. So what the purpose we calculate slack time? Slack time represent the time for each activity can be delayed. So if you get 0, that means the activity cannot be delayed. If you have value, So that means that activity can be delayed maximum value. Let's say here, A. Slack time 0. That means A cannot delay. By hook, by crook, you need to start on time. You need to finish on time. Okay. B also 0. Yes. B must be start at 5, finish at 20. Don't have any thought. C minus slack time is 5. So that means you can delay C 5 days. You can start at year 5, at day 5. So you finish 10 days. You finish at day 15. You can start at day 6 plus 10. You can finish at day 16. You can start at day 7. 10 days. You finish at day 17. You can start at day 18, 8, 10, 18, 9, 10, 90. Then the latest you can start is 10, 10, 20. Not more than 10 because the slack time only 5. So, okay. And then here, slack time 10, 15 minus 5. So that means this activity you can delay 10 days. This one slack time 0, 20 minus 20, cannot delay. This one slack time 165. That means you can delay this activity 165 days. This one 0, cannot delay. This one also 0, cannot delay. So the slack time 0, the activity we call it critical activity. So critical activity represent at slack time 0. So that means this is critical activity because slack time 0 cannot delay. This also critical. This one critical. This one critical and this one critical. So the path, the path along the critical activity, we call it critical path. So you see here, the dotted line for the box represent a critical activity. The dotted line for the arrow represent critical path. Critical path along critical activity. Understand? Okay. Alright. So this is the calculation. Okay. And then the path cannot be written back. I mentioned to you just now, the arrow must be from left to right. Cannot be from right to left. Cannot. Okay. This arrow. This is no. This one we call it illogical. It's not logic. Okay. I think another example. 18 is not in your, this one is not in your syllabus. Okay, so I think that's all for this. So this is activity on arrow. So this is not in our syllabus. Our syllabus is only activity on note. So this one, all the slide here is not in your syllabus. So you no need to understand. In this chapter, you need to understand until slide number 23. So for this chapter, you need to study until slide number 23 only. Okay, until here, any question? What I teach you here, the first thing, you need to know how to draw network. This one, how to draw network. This is network. How to draw network here, this one. Okay, so, and then each node, you need to divide it into 8 portions. So here, early start, early finish, late start, late finish, slack time. ID is identification, description, and also duration. ID, description, and duration from the data. So here, A, application approval, 5 days. B, construction plan, 15 days. Until H, occupancy 35 days. So based on this, you need to calculate early start and early finish using forward analysis. And then you need to calculate late start and late finish using backward analysis. And if you have choice for the forward analysis, like here, you have choice here, two, one from B, one from C, you choose the longest one. And then if you have choice for the backward analysis, like this, C, one from E, one from F, you choose the smallest one. And then after that, you can calculate slack time, late start minus early start, you get slack time. And then based on the slack time, okay, slack time 0 represent critical activity. So you see dotted line, dotted box here. Dotted box here is a critical activity because why? Because slack time 0. That means by hook, by crook, we will start and finish on time, cannot delay. And then the arrow along the critical activity, we call it critical path. So that's why you see the arrow along critical activity is a dotted line also, it's critical path. And then the rest of the activity, they have a value for the slack time. That means the activity can be delayed based on value of slack time. Let's say for the E, can be delayed 165 days. For the C, can be delayed 5 days, and so on. So you need to understand until slide number 23. Okay, any question? Clear, eh? Okay, I want to discuss with you. Next week is a semester break. Yeah, he's supposed to don't have any class next week. But on week 9, I have an outstation for the whole week. And then it's hard to me to have a class during my outstation. I just worry about the internet connection lah. Maybe I don't have internet connection and so on. I want to request of mission from you. Can we have a class next week during semester break? But we don't have a class on week 9 after semester break. Is it okay? You okay on that? You understand what I mean?
Okay, doctor. I'm okay, doctor.
Okay. So that's mean next week semester break, but we have a class. And then the following week, first week after break, but we don't have class because I will be outstation for the whole week that following week. So that's mean next week we have class, and then week 9 we don't have class. Are you clear?
Clear, doctor.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So we have a test on week 10. I will tell you the scope for the test. Week 10, eh? Week 10 we have test. Okay. Can we stop here? It's quite tired today. Okay. All right. So we have a class next week, even though you're on semester break, just for your reminder. And then the week after that, we don't have any class. And then after week 9, we have a test 1. I will tell you the scope for the test 1. Or we discuss later lah. Is it, if you ready, we do it in week 10. If not, we postpone to week 11 for the test. Okay, so we stop here. So we meet again next week. Same time, same day. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.